بسم الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. So we covered in the beginning, or before the break, basically, we covered the story of Sayyidina Musa with Al-Khidr. Just before I comment and lessons to live with, Surah Al-Kahf is the chapter that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encouraged us through Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam to read it every Friday. And there is many virtues, and I'm sure this has been covered here. But the main thing that we all have to ask ourselves is there's 4 stories in the Surah Al-Kahf. Allah wants me to remember them every week, because every week from one Friday to the other, I am going to go through at least one of the tests that each story has meaning. First one is about the test or the fitna of the deen, of religion, the young boys of the cave. Then it's the fitna of al-mal, is the temptations of wealth, the two ashab al-jannah, the two friends who has the garden. Then you get the fitna of knowledge, Sayyidina Musa. Knowledge is a huge it's a fitna in a way that it makes me think I did it, I know, and I forget that Allah is Al-Alim, Allah is all-knowing, Allah is the one who gives, Allah is the one who holds. And then we have the last story of Dhul Qarnayn, is the test of power. When we get into a position of power, I can change, or I can abuse. This is a test, how I'm going to handle it. So the test in the story of Sayyidina Musa, as I said, is the knowledge. But the knowledge is not only it. There's a deeper lesson in that story, the story of Sayyidina Musa. Things external is not always what it means in the sight of Allah. One. Second, the things that happen outside, the incidents that happens outside, does not always bring result as I think based on my external knowledge or what I am seeing. Not every bad will end up with bad, and not every good external will end up in good. Famous verse in the Quran that many of us are familiar with. وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌ لَكُمْ. Allah said this in Surah Al-Baqarah. You may love something and it is bad for you. And you may hate or dislike something and it is good for you. And in Surah An-Nisa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, in the context of marriage actually, He said, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَيَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ فِيهِ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. You may dislike or hate something, don't want it, but in it, وَيَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ فِيهِ, in it, in that thing that you don't like, خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. That Allah, out of this thing, and this thing could be anything, that you didn't like, you hate, you didn't want it to happen, or you're asking yourself, why this happened to me? Allah will bring from it khayran kathira. We have seen this a lot in the seerah actually. In the seerah, Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam lived it. We all, right, majority of us learned or know about, or we should learn, especially these days, about Surah Al-Hudaybiyyah, the Treaty of Al-Hudaybiyyah, where if you read, and this is basically an agreement, right, between the believers led by Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam and al-kuffar, disbelievers. This is the two groups. Disbelievers and Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam and all the righteous people of the khulafa, the 10 that were given Jannah. You can imagine the disparity between the two groups, right? Who's better in the sight of Allah? Of course, Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam and the Sahaba. But if you read it, if you read in it what Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam was signing, and he signed, the first thing come from your mouth and mine and anyone, this is not fair. Why is this happening to us? Why we are accepting it, including Sayyidina Umar. came to Rasul ﷺ, because just to give you one example, it started by Sayyidina Ali was writing it. So it was started by Muhammad Rasulullah. Like, this agreement is between Muhammad Rasulullah. The kuffar stopped Sayyidina Ali and says, if we know he's a Rasulullah, why we are in disagreement? Remove Rasulullah. Subhanallah. Remove. Don't put title. Just put Muhammad. Sayyidina Ali couldn't do it. Rasul ﷺ looked at him and says, do it. Write Muhammad. He wrote Muhammad. And then if you look at there's a lot of injustice, right? There's good, no more fighting for 10 years. But if somebody from the Muslims, right, run back to Mecca, will not send them back. But if anybody from Mecca comes to Medina, you need to send them back. So there's a lot of external injustice. So Sayyidina Umar came to the Sahaba were absolutely unhappy. They were in Ihram, they were going to Umrah after all these years, going to Mecca, and before at the Hudaybiyyah, they stopped them and they signed. And one of the points that they signed, no Umrah this year, you will go back. Imagine this. We're getting ready, have the Umrah prepared, or Hajj, right? Visiting Allah's house. And then they say, nope, the plane canceled. Your visa didn't arrive. What happens to us? Now imagine them. So Sahaba were really unhappy. They couldn't. It was very hard on them. Sayyidina Umar came to Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. He said, Ya Rasulullah, alasna ala al-haq? Alasna ala al-haq? Are we not upon the truth? Are we not the people of truth? Isn't not what we believe in is the truth? He said, yes. And he said, why we are doing this? Why we are signing this? Why we are accepting this externally? عسى أن تكرهوا شيئا. You may, when Allah knows us, He's our creator. You may dislike something. You may hate something. You may see a lot of injustice in it. ويجعل الله فيه خيرا كثيرا. And in it, from it, a lot of khair is going to come. What happened? في صلح الحديبية, the conqueror of Mecca. As they were going back, after signing, Allah revealed, إِنَّا فَتَحْنَا لَكَ فَتْحًا مُبِينًا. Surah Al-Fath. We have already opened to you a great victory, clear opening. We just signed a treaty that is very unfair. So the first lesson, and this is what Surah Al-Kahf, in the story of Sayyidina Musa, keep reminding you and me, don't judge by the external. The way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala operates is not the way you and I, number one, operate, and not the way you and I perceive things. We're human. We're weak. What do we know? So Sayyidina al-Khidr, Sayyidina Musa, he was like you and me at this point, because al-Khidr was way more knowledgeable and Allah was directing him. So a ship to sink, bad. A son or a young boy to be killed is bad. People who did not help me and I want food and they didn't even give me food, helping them is not good. What happened? The bad carried with it the good. If he did not put a hole in that ship, those poor people who used that ship to fish so they can have livelihood, if he didn't make this a small defect in it, the king would have taken it and they would have lost it. So a small defect versus keeping, a small defect versus taking it all, a small defect that will lead to keeping it. If I knew up front, I will say, of course, just make holes. At least I will keep it. The boy that he killed, the parents loved him. They were so happy when he was born, but he was going astray. And Allah knew that when as he is going astray, because of the love of the parents will follow him. And they will go astray and they will lose their deen. Which one? Losing my deen or losing my son? And not only that, but Allah said it, وَأَرَادَ رَبُّكَ أَن يُبْدِلَهُمَا خَيْرًا مِنْهُ زَكَاةً فَأَرَدْنَا. And we wanted, the reason we killed, because we want Allah to replace them with a better child. Meaning, at this moment, the one I see, I perceive, they lost a child. But I don't know the future. And Allah is telling us, teaching us through this story, that the future will be better. When the things are bad, not necessarily it's going to continue, and not necessarily it's going to bring bad. It's going to get better. And the same thing with the jidar. The wall, many lessons from it. The wall, number one, what saved those children, and this is to every parent, what saved the wall, which means basically saved the wealth and the treasure of the two boys, is that their father was righteous. So for us people, when we worry about our children, the first thing we need to do, to bi-idhnillah, inshallah, that our children will become righteous, we need to be righteous first. Don't say to your child, did you pray? Ask yourself, did you pray well? Be a good person, you say to your child, are you? Work on yourself, because as they say, بصلاح الأبناء بصلاح الآباء تصلح الأبناء. By the fact that the parents are righteous, the children will be righteous. De facto, most of the time. There is always exceptions to the rule, but in general. So the lesson I received from this last third story of the story of Sayyidina Musa is, parents, be righteous. Parents, don't give your children money. Don't give them everything they want. That's why Allah didn't want the treasure to come out, because they will be spoiled and the deen may get ruined. Now bring all this and apply it to your life, and apply it to what is happening now in Gaza. It's very hard. It's very difficult. A lot, again, of injustice. A lot of, I'm sure everybody, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, feeling helpless, and some even hopeless. No, that's not what Allah wants from me. In fact, that is not what the people of Gaza teaching me. And I said teaching me. Yes, they are. They are teaching us. And you all have seen the clips and the videos of again and again and again, and the mother lose her child, and the son lose, or the daughter lose her mother, and the reporter lost his family, and nothing comes out except ma'alish. It's okay. This is a common word in the Arabic language. It's okay. It's okay. He's looking at his son dead. The grandfather. يعني هذا by itself, it's beyond. And the young girl, Ya Allah, Reem, and he's carrying her. He's talking to her as if she's alive. And he's even bringing his beard and touching her. And he's talking to her, Ruh, Ruh, you're the soul of the soul. But he was so composed. We learn from them. And more and more and more. I mean, there is so many things we have learned that if we didn't change after what we saw and learned from the people of Gaza, we have a huge problem. I have a huge problem in my heart. I have a huge problem in my connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Something is not right. If I didn't look at that and I changed in my relationship with Allah, if I didn't change in how I perceive things, question all of us probably are asking, what's making the people of Gaza strong? And I always remember the hadith of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, تعرف إلى الله في الرخاء يعرفك في الشدة. Know Allah at the time of prosperity. He will know you at time of difficulty. Know Allah at time of prosperity. This is you and me now. All of us. Obey Him. Put Him as number one. Don't disobey Him. Do way more than just the bare minimum. Do it out of love. Do it with perfection. Do it because He wanted you to do. Do it because it's going to make him happy. Do it because you can and you want to do it. And you are in no need. Al-Raha, prosperity, I don't need. What will happen? At the time of test, adversity, need, he's going to know me. What does that mean? He's going to give me the patience I need. He's going to give me the dua I need. He's going to give me the composure in my body, in myself that I need. He's going to make me speak what pleases him at that moment because I have credit with Allah. The people of Gaza, وَلَا أُزَكِّيهِمْ عَلَى اللَّهِ, they build credit and credit and credit. Many of them are Huffaz of the Quran. Many of them. Many boys, girls. You've seen so many of the clips where the boys is sitting on the rubbles and he's reciting Quran. Strength, and I want to end up here for the sake of the time. Two things. What external looks bad does not necessarily mean it's bad. We don't know what Allah is carrying with it. Will we see it in our lifetime? Allah knows. Second, so first, what we see externally is not always what we perceive as bad, is not always bad. And number two, when we look at all these, I ask myself and everybody, do I have that faith? If I and you were tested that test, will I respond the same way? If the answer is no, or I don't know, then I need to change. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give the people of Gaza, Ya Allah, innaka sami'u dua. This is a Friday, Ya Rabbi. We know, maybe this is the hour that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if the person make a dua, Allah, I will respond. Ya Allah, give them victory. Ya Allah, give them victory. Ya Allah, give them victory. Ya Allah, give them patience. Give them patience. Let them, keep them, and give them more strength, faith. Ya Allah, show them the light at the end of the tunnel. There is light at the end of the tunnel. But show it to them, Ya Rabbi. Show it to them and make them examples for us to follow. Make it easy for them. Ya Allah, take care of those who are doing injustice to them. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, la yu'jizuk. You are, they will never, you will never not able to take care of them. إنك على كل شيء قدير. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه تسليما كثيرا.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Haifaa. Just a reminder, if anyone in the audience has any questions, you are more than welcome to write them in the chat or email us at questions@celebratemercy.com. I would like to start with a question of my own. Alhamdulillah for the opportunity. I actually screenshotted one of your recent posts on social media. It just it was I'm a homeschooling mom, so most of my curriculum is just screenshots. That's my curriculum. Alhamdulillah. But you said that in the West we are being tested with luxury, and the people of Gaza are being tested with hardship. Where do my limited knowledge, I understand that I need to start with a detox. Maybe this is my time to detox. You know how when we eat junk food, we detox with a green smoothie or fasting the next few days. How do I start that spiritual detox? How do I get these toxins out?
Very good question. Very good question. The first thing is this concept is actually in the Quran. The concept of the test is in prosperity and adversity. نَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً وَإِلَيْنَا تُرْجَعُونَ. Allah said in Surah Al-Anbiya, we will test you بالشر, evil, things you don't like, والخير, goodness, prosperity, things I love. Fitna, both are tests. وَإِلَيْنَا تُرْجَعُونَ, and you will gonna go back to us whether you lived in prosperity or you lived in adversity. This is what I will say. You may laugh. I usually, and this is actually what I studied, because I studied tazkiyah, not only theory, but I studied it practically. Start with food. We live in a place where everything is available. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among the grateful. Ya Rabbi, Ameen. When you say to yourself, it's 10 o'clock, I need to go and get my coffee at 10 o'clock. Coffee or any drink. I just get coffee because many people, this is their favorite. Say to yourself, no. I need it. No. The people of Gaza what does coffee mean to them at this time, right? And the more the concept in tazkiyah is, it's usually called go against your nafs. What your nafs desire. I'm not going to say deprive your nafs. That's also not an Islamic concept. But don't give your nafs everything it wants. Then what happens when I come to a state, for whatever the reason, I don't get what I want? I am already my nafs is under my control. So when it doesn't get what it wants, the way I respond, the way it pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I will not say, what is that? No coffee? Or the coffee is, for example, this temperature? Or, oh, they don't have this kind? I mean, we say it because that's the norm. Yani, you go to a grocery shop, what do you see? You want to buy apple. It takes you 10 minutes to decide. Subhanallah, may Allah makes me among the grateful. I look and I was like, Ya Rabbi, Ya Allah, how generous you are. Why do I have in front of me 10 kinds? And I have to think of it, right? So now, if my nafs, I get it loose, the nafs, me, the inner me is like a baby. And this is the famous poetry it's the beginning of Al-Burda. وَالنَّفْسُ كَالطِّفْلِ إِن تُهْمِلْهُ شَبَّ عَلَى حُبِّ الرِّضَاعِ وَإِن تَفْطِمْهُ يَنْفَطِمِ. The nafs is like a baby, breastfeeding baby. If you are not gonna control him, meaning train him or her to stop breastfeeding, it's gonna continue. So here I am. When I am, and this is actually, Wallahu A'lam, I have not visited Gaza, but because for the last 15 years at least, they have been living in this open prison that we are hearing. There's a lot of their prosperity, they don't have it. They don't even know it. It's for them, walk 4 or 5 miles, what is the big deal, right? So this is where we start. We start by not giving our nafs everything. I'm gonna go and have an ice cream. Why? Versus, you know what? You're going to get an ice cream or a coffee or something food you all like. And because you performed your salah beautifully, you controlled your tongue. You were very upset, but you held your feelings, meaning you did not express it in the way that's not pleasing to Allah. Then you deserve. It's like a baby. Then I'm going to give you a chocolate or whatever. As we go through this, the nafs is not spoiled 100%. The nafs is not used to get everything it wants. When I am exposed to adversity, I'm ready. I can do it.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. This reminds me of two things. The first conversation is, the teaching ourselves and our children the difference between pure and halal. So just because something is halal doesn't mean it's pure, right? Or good for you.
True.
It reminds me of that. And then the other thing that I'm reminded of is if somebody on a podcast, someone like Joe Rogan or another self-motivational guru or mentor says something about, training yourselves or having a training regimen, they're literally talking about the nafs. This is what they're talking about.
Exactly.
Subhanallah, subhanallah.
It's the discipline. Actually, the whole tazkiyah process is about disciplining the nafs and refocus and make the focus on Allah, and then the others come less.
Subhanallah. I think the difference between them is just their focus is their self.
Exactly.
So it's like the intention is different, even though they're doing the right things. It's very disciplined, but the intention is so different. Subhanallah.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I have a question here. How do we channel our emotions into action?
Very nice. So my emotion, the commonest emotions, I'm assuming it's related to Gaza. The commonest emotions is anger and frustration. Why is this happening? Where are the people? Why? May Allah forgive us. Some people may even start saying, why Allah is allowing this to happen, right? So I have this frustration, I have this anger. The moment you start doing something, even if that something is this small, and you are, and I am, most of us are not seeing the result of what we are doing, but the fact I'm doing something, when I stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because at the end, the most important thing is what Allah will ask. What will I say to Allah when He asks me? your brothers and sisters in Islam were tested. What did you do for them? I'm going to say, Ya Allah, I did not forget them in every dua of mine, before myself, before my parents, before what I want. That's number one. Number two, every opportunity I can do to help, I'll do. There is demonstration, I'm going. I am a good writer, I'm writing articles. I have a good number of followers. Social media is changing it. I have a good number of followers. I am going to be posting. I know non-Muslim, I'm going to talk to them about it, change their opinion about it. And personally, me, the more I am closer to Allah, the less frustrated I am. I cannot go and fight. I cannot change policies, major ones, but I can bring awareness. And this awareness, maybe I was the first one to turn on the awareness, and somebody else is going to come and take it from me. But never ever, when I don't do anything, this is what I tell people, don't just sit on the couch and watch. That will make you very frustrated. No, I will know what is happening. I'll see something in the morning, maybe something in the evening, but not 24/7. And then immediately I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go to the grocery shop. I am going to create a conversation to even change the opinion about the Muslims, or find a way, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to use you. Ya Allah, use me. The more we see ourselves doing something, the more or the better we feel we are doing something, and Allah will put in us the sakina, the way that it is with them. Subhanallah.
Subhanallah. Jazakallah khair for that. I'm just, subhanallah, this is exactly what I witnessed. I think we all have witnessed this ever since. I think this is the year. Every single person I'm meeting in the family or in the friend circle, every time we meet each other, everyone is saying, whether they're liberal or they're more conservative, whatever it is, Palestine has changed us. We can't go
exactly. I love that one.
We can't go back to the way we were living.
You know what? It's we many of the times we say before and after September 11. It's gonna say before and after Gaza, or most people don't even remember the date. They refer to it as Gaza, which is great. Like if you say October 7, okay, when was it? What? But when you say it's Gaza, everybody knows it. Alhamdulillah.
Absolutely. Alhamdulillah. I think it has united us in ways that nothing else could unite us.
Yeah.
Subhanallah.
Absolutely. Walillah alhamd.
Yes. Alhamdulillah. We are literally, bankrupting businesses. Subhanallah. And it's empowering.
Alhamdulillah. And it's amazing how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing us that a lot of the things we thought we can do without, wallahi, we can, and we will enjoy even more. Because the hadith of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, إِنَّكَ لَن تَتْرُكْ شَيْئًا لِلَّهِ إِلَّا عَوَضَكَ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا مِنْهُ. I was telling a Sahabi, whenever you leave something for the sake of Allah, and especially if there's something you love or like, but the reason you left it, not because you cannot, or you don't like it anymore, or you can't reach it, or you can't afford it, everything is there. It's just you are not doing it because it's not pleasing to Allah. Illa, but Allah, عَوَضَكَ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا, Allah will replace you with something more you like. So, you know what? I'm not going to drink this. I'm not going to eat that. I'm not going to wear this. Why? Because this is the way I can help. Subhanallah, I'm glad Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded me. I received a message on the Facebook message. It's from a woman from Gaza. It was written in Arabic. Subhanallah. She said, I am a teacher of Quran and Islamic studies. I just want to say the meaning, and this is to everybody, what we are writing and what we are putting and posting, she said, it's giving us strength. And she was thanking us. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. If you make one person in Gaza happy, Ya Rabbi lak alhamd. Ya Rabbi lak alhamd. Alhamdulillah.
Subhanallah. Jazakallah for sharing that, Sheikha. I want to ask you about Jenna Institute. If
Yes.
someone is interested, I had family message me like, you better ask her about Jenna Institute. I want to start. Where do I start? So
Okay.
I will ask her on behalf of all my sisters waiting to enroll, inshallah ta'ala. One complaint is that why is it always so full all the time? MashaAllah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed us a solution. So let me tell, in case some of you don't know about Jenna. Jenna Institute is an institute for woman by woman. Yani started by women, teachers are all women, the staff is all women, walillah alhamd. And nothing other than I lived it. When I moved to Jeddah to study, alhamdulillah, may Allah make me among the grateful, Ya Rabbi, Ameen. And without a plan, I didn't know any of that. Allah planned it. Where I studied was all women. Not only the class is women, everybody is women, all the teachers. And I couldn't believe, and I'm saying this, that, in medicine, you see women physicians very qualified. But in Islamic studies and shaykhat, at least me, I have not met before. And everyone comes in, and I was like, wow, Ya Rabbi, what is this? The fiqh, the hadith, the seer, amazing. And then I felt different. We were 22 in the class only. That's it. And I felt very different background, different ages. There was no requirement other than a high school, right? And then they said the niyyah, pure niyyah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then better, preferable, but not necessary. And it was a complete different atmosphere. In medical school, we studied both men and women. This is different. The interaction is different. The feeling is different. You learn in a different way. May Allah reward all the men who taught me. A lot of men taught me. But it's just, and I said, and I remember actually, I was in an Aqidah class. I still remember. And I said in me, and I said, Yani, how many people can do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed me to do, move and study. I mean, as a woman, you have a lot of restrictions. Mm-hmm. So I said, Ya Allah, I would love to see something like that in the States. Wallah la la. And I have no idea how this is going to happen. That's why I keep telling people, don't worry. Allah is the one who makes things happy. It's not us. Happen. So anyway, to cut the story short, we started in 2013, just 10 years, subhanAllah now, very small, in St. Louis, Missouri, only teaching a little bit Arabic, little bit Quran, because I was still studying. Came back in 2017. At this point, we a little bit bigger. We're still based in St. Louis, basically doing 6 weeks courses just to see how much there is an interest, because now you're teaching in English. SubhanAllah. And this is Allah's only, I have nothing to do with it. None of the JI staff had anything to do with it. From that moment, before COVID, we started on-site online. And we said, you know what? A lot of the women can't come. I mean, even in St. Louis, can't come. I'm just a child, just. So we said, let's open. And we had Zoom before COVID. Subhanallah. Then COVID came in, and la ilaha illallah. And because we moved everything to online, and Allah put the barakah. So 2021, at one point I said, it is the time, don't ask me why. I just prayed istikhara, and I said, this is the time to start now. Allah showed me there's a lot of interest. It is the time now to start doing a 1-year full course, we called it Year of Knowledge, what every Muslim woman should learn. And we do not graduate scholars, because Arabic is not a requirement. We teach the traditional books that is translated, and we teach the traditional way. We read from the book in the English and comment. And we said, you know what? Let's do it. Now, when you're teaching online, especially in the first year, we wanted only 25 students. And subhanallah, the amount of the applications we got. And there is basically first come, first serve. There is nothing that prevents you from being accepted, because you could be anywhere. We have students in Australia and we have students in Africa. So 25, then we increased it to 50. And this year, we made it 100. The 100 within less than 2 weeks was full. you can't do it bigger, because if you do it bigger,
Mm.
quality is very important for us,
Yes.
and we need to give the student their due right. And it is an interactive teaching. I talk with them, and it's not only me. We have Sheikha Muslima with us, and we have Sheikha Zainab Ansari also with us. They teach some, and I teach the majority. So we finished the first year. Now all the first year students wanted to continue, so we started a second year. So now we have 2 years. Now back to your point, it's always full. Subhanallah, Allah opened another thing. La ilaha illahu. Now we have all this material. We know not every woman can do, because it's intense. It is about 11 hours of live classes, 5 major topics, and we require 80% attendance. And the attendance, we have requirements even for the attendance. I told people, and this is how I was taught, you take knowledge seriously, Allah will give it to you. You take it lightly. So I tell the students, don't come to the class and you are in your pajama and you're sitting on your bed. You're not going to learn. Sit in your, I call it knowledge corner. So we reached out and we started this August, actually. From the first year we have taught, we actually edited the classes, and we start something called Year of Knowledge Self-Paced. This one is not sold out. This one, anybody. And it is according to, yes, this is according to your pace. You want to do it the same way, meaning you're going to take the 5 classes, you will study it in every week, 5 courses, the whole year, be my guest. You want to do 1 class a week, be my guest. And this is open. It's called Year of Knowledge, self-paced. You have all the recordings, you have the notes, you have the books, you have the PDF. I meet with them every 1 or 2 months, all the students, all the questions they have. This where we come to middle ground. And inshallah, now the next step, Ya Rabbi Ameen, is to have the physical Jenna Institute, where we're going to have it, Ya Rabbi Ameen, inshallah, here in California, in Irvine, where we're going to have the same way I studied. We're going to continue the on-site online, but at least we will give, because whatever, walillah alhamd, we have the online, but it's very different when you are in person.
Yeah, mashallah. Jazakallah khair for that. I see Zainab is saying, I would love to dedicate my time to study Farsi. May Allah allow us. Zainab, Iqra, I see a lot of our sisters here. Inshallah, inshallah, right? I'm actually excited. I didn't know there was a self-paced course. Super excited for that. And this is the generation. This is the need of the hour, Sheikha, right? I'm a mother of 3 girls, and I'm already telling them, inshallah, Rabata, I have a 6-month-old. I'm like, you're going to go to Rabata. You're going to go to Jenna Institute, right?
Inshallah.
So,
inshallah. Yes.
So I need that to be like full open, a building by the time my 12-year-old is ready, inshallah.
Absolutely, inshallah. I think all mothers, and this is actually the main reason behind this, is because once the mothers learned, the children will learn.
Yes.
Yeah, and at least they learned the basics correctly. May Allah reward our parents. They taught us what they know, but we learned later on that there is a lot needs to learn. So the whole idea is to teach the woman. The woman needs to learn their deen. It will make their life easier, happier. Children are better. The ummah is better. And inshallah, I make dua to Allah that there will be 1,000 Jannah, and there will be many of the women institutes. The idea is just to make it easy for everybody, inshallah.
Inshallah ta'ala. Jazakallah khair. Dr. Haifaa, I don't want to let you go.
I'll end up with this. أحبب من أحببت فإنك إيش ما شئت فإنك ميت. Live as long as you want, you're going to die. أحبب من أحببت فإنك مفارقه. Love whom you want to love. One day you will depart, or you will leave each other. وأمل ما شئت. And do what you want, فإنك ملاقيه. You will meet it. Subhanallah. May Allah, Ya Rabbi Ameen, accept from all of us. May Allah reward you and celebrate mercy. May Allah reward everyone who was online. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us, purify our niyyah, make us a key for khair, make us a key to spread goodness on this life and help those who are in need. Ya Rabbi Ameen, and may He forgive all our shortcomings. Ya Rabbi Ameen. Jazakumullah khairan.
Jazakallah khair. May Allah bless you and your family. Assalamu alaikum wa
وعليكم
rahmatullahi wa
السلام
barakatuh.
ورحمة الله وبركاته.